Welcome to Chapter 13. After Charles VII's successful Normandy campaign in 1450, he concentrated his efforts on Gascony, the last province held by the English. Bordeaux, Gascony's capital, was besieged and surrendered to the French on 30 June 1451. Largely due to the English sympathies of the Gascon people, this was reversed when John Talbot and his army retook the city on 23 October 1452. However, the English were decisively defeated at the Battle of Castillon on 17 July 1453. Talbot had been persuaded to engage the French army at Castillon near Bordeaux. During the battle, the French appeared to retreat towards their camp. The French camp at Castillon had been laid out by Charles VII's ordnance officer Jean Bureau, and this was instrumental in the French successes. When the French cannon opened fire from their positions in the camp, the English took severe casualties, losing both Talbot and his son. End of the war. Although the Battle of Castillon is considered the last battle of the 100 Years' War, England and France remained formally at war for another 20 years, but the English were in no position to carry on the war as they faced unrest at home. Bordeaux fell to the French on 19 October, and there were no more hostilities afterwards. Following defeat in the 100 Years' War, English landowners complained vociferously about the financial losses resulting from the loss of the continental holdings. This is often considered a major cause of the Wars of the Roses that started in 1455. The 100 Years' War almost resumed in 1474, when the Duke Charles of Burgundy, counting on English support, took up arms against Louis XI. Louis managed to isolate the Burgundians by buying Edward IV of England off with a large cash sum and an annual pension, in the Treaty of Picquigny, 1475. The treaty formally ended the 100 Years' War, with Edward renouncing his claim to the throne of France. However, future kings of England, and later of Great Britain, continued to claim the title until 1803, when they were dropped in deference to the exiled Count of Provence, titular King Louis XVIII, who was living in England after the French Revolution. Historical significance. The French victory marked the end of a long period of instability that had been seeded with the Norman conquest, 1066, when William the Conqueror added, King of England, to his titles, becoming both the vassal to, as Duke of Normandy, and the equal of, as King of England, the King of France. When the war ended, England was bereft of its continental possessions, leaving it with only Calais on the continent, until 1558. The war destroyed the English dream of a joint monarchy and led to the rejection in England of all things French, although the French language in England, which had served as the language of the ruling classes and commerce there from the time of the Norman conquest, left many vestiges in English vocabulary. English became the official language in 1362, and French was no longer used for teaching from 1385. National feeling that emerged from the war unified both France and England further. Despite the devastation on its soil, the 100 Years' War accelerated the process of transforming France from a feudal monarchy to a centralized state. 87. In England, the political and financial troubles which emerged from the defeat were a major cause of the War of the Roses, 1455-1487. Chapter 14 will be continued.